Hi there, YouTube. I am going to make some brine shrimp today. Show you how to use this this guy, the Ziss Artemia blender. So the only thing I've done so far is I screwed on this little valve right here that you get in the package. It's to keep that closed, no water leaking out. And I filled it up with water from my tap, and the water is just maybe a little bit warmer than room temperature, 80 degrees or so, something like that. You just don't want it to be like hot. I like to get it a little bit warm because my house is kind of cold. So actually I'm going to close this door because otherwise it's going to get really cold in here. Okay, got a power head that I'm about to put in here in a second too. So I did detach all my air lines so I could just show you guys how I set this up. And what I'm going to do is some rigged stuff really quick. Look at that. You guys can kind of see what's going on here a little bit. So take the air pump and you put a decent chunk of airline tubing. This is actually probably too much airline tubing, but I don't know if I'm going to move this at some point in time or something. And then I like to get one of these valves. This is, I think, a ziss valve. This came from Aquarium Co-op. Or maybe this is the one that came with the Ziss blender. They do send you one with it, I think. So you just kind of slide that airline tubing on there. And the reason I like this valve is because you can turn down your blender, your airflow, or you can also use it as like a detach point. It makes it a lot easier. These, like this thing, this little lip or nipple, whatever you want to call this, on the lid, it doesn't really like to be detached from it. It keeps the airline on there really, really good. So I would advise not to detach that at all and just detach it straight from the valve. It seems a lot easier that way to just detach it from this little valve point. But yeah, so I got my little thing of airline, and I think I said one day you guys could probably do this smaller. It doesn't need to be that long. Actually, I'm gonna take this. See how easy that was to pull off? That would have been off of the lid. It takes forever to pull that thing off. And then on the bottom side of the lid, you have another little nipple. You're just gonna slide this on this side too. It slides on pretty easy, but it's really hard to get off. And then I got a little Never Clog air stone. And so I'm just going to put that on now too. And that is the quick and dirty how you set this thing up. I already had the air lines cut, but you could cut all these. You want this last one to be pretty long so it goes down to the bottom and stirs your brine shrimp and your salt and everything, doesn't let it just sit at the bottom. That's also why I like the valve. You can turn that up and down, so if you have your flow too high, basically if you have your flow too high, you'll get brine shrimp all up in here and everything. But if you have it too low, a bunch will settle to the bottom, and they won't be hatching if they're not in constant suspension in the water. So yeah, that's pretty much, you just hook your long air line to the valve, and then hook the valve to here. Like I said, you could cut both of these shorter, however short you want. This one I would advise to cut it about this long, just like, I don't know, 7 inches, 8 inches, something like that. I don't know what it is. And yeah, that is how you set it up and get it going. And then I think what I do, I put a little less water in there than 2 liters. I think that's like 1 liter and 3/4 or something. And they say almost 2 tablespoons of salt, or like 1 tablespoon and 3/4 of salt per each liter, or per each quart, and a liter is a little more than a quart, so it's like 1.5 tablespoons per liter, something like that. Or sorry, about 2 tablespoons per liter then is what I meant. So with 1 3/4, probably gonna do like 3 tablespoons and a little change. That's about what I like to do. Maybe like 3.5 would be about right. I'm trying to get these at least mostly leveled off. So some of these are gonna have, see, that's got a little less in it, so I need to put a little extra the last time. Oh, I just spilled salt. So hard to get salt out of these aquarium salt packages. Alright, and then I'll just go ahead and pick up the salt off the table and throw it in there too. It shouldn't change the dynamic too much. And I think I have a little less in each thing. Alright, technique here. And now I got a handful of salt. Throw that in there. And I'm going to keep this tablespoon for my salt. It is an old, unmarked tablespoon, and I don't really like using it in the kitchen. I'm just going to steal it for my purposes, as long as I can get this. I can almost get that box to seal up. We'll figure it out in a second when I'm not on camera. And then I like to, so see how my air stone's hanging back that way because of the curve in the airline. I like to have the thermometer in the front, so I'm going to switch that air stone around really quick. Make it to where the air stone is hanging the other direction. Just give me 1 second. Takes a second here. There it is. That should be better, I think. If you get it perfectly straight airline tubing, it makes it a little bit easier because it will stay where you want it to. But you see now that airline is curving kind of to the inside instead of the outside. And so when I drop it down in there, it's going to be dang near right on the bottom. I think mine hovers a centimeter from the bottom, if not sitting right on the bottom. Then I'm going to plug in my air pump. And some people just go ahead and throw their eggs in, I think. I like to go ahead and wait for maybe 30 minutes or something. It lets the salt, you know, fully disperse in there and get all stirred up. But yeah, so you got your little thermometer, and my thermometer's kind of off to the side, so you can't really fully see there. But you could turn your thermometer, make it look perfect, you know, to where you can see it from the front perfectly. Or if you don't really care about that, you can just do whatever you want. But yeah, that's about what you want. I think I'm actually gonna turn this flow down a little bit. I think, let's see, right there. I think this flow might be a little high. And that's also why I didn't put as much water in mine. I put a little less than 2 liters because I don't like it to get all caught up between the lid, and I'm honestly not hatching that many brine shrimp. I don't have, you know, I don't have Dean Tweedale levels of fish tanks or Corey McElroy levels over here. I just have a few tanks. About, I think, what is it? 5 tanks, 2 150-gallon mini ponds, and soon to be a 5-gallon Daphnia tank. So just a little decent little handful of tanks. I think that's about the flow you want. I'll come back and adjust it later. I'll be able to tell when I get the brine shrimp in there. The other day I had a couple settle out, so I will try to get them the perfect flow so that everybody can see about what the perfect flow looks like. I'm gonna really mess with it, and then when I feed them, I'm gonna make sure that I get, you know, the least amount of eggs possible in there. That way everybody can see, oh, that's what it looks like when you have no eggs, or just trying to do everything a little bit perfect. Have to find somewhere to plug in my lamp. I got a little grow LED bulb. I'm thinking it heats up pretty decent. I'm thinking it'll heat up the brine shrimp a little bit, so we'll see. And that's all. I will be back to put the brine shrimp in and to feed them. Hi again, YouTube. I went ahead and waited about an hour or so, and you can see at least most of my salt is gone. There might be a little tiny bit. I got my little LED grow light. If you want some of these, I think they're called like EE kit or something like that on Amazon. But there's like a 4-pack. It's like a 4-pack of LED grow bulbs. They're really cheap, and they're pretty bright. They work pretty good. I think it was like $25 $30 or something like that for 4 little bulbs like this, and each one only puts out like 9 watts or something around there, like under 10 watts, and they're a like a 27 watt equivalent or something, so they're not bad. And then I've got my brine shrimp eggs out here. I'm gonna lay you down like that. Looks like you guys can see. And I just wanted to see, I like to use my cap, and they say like, I think a half a teaspoon per each liter for brine shrimp eggs. So I'm just gonna pour some in my cap first. The cap to my brine shrimp egg container. I don't like to go get a teaspoon every time. So let's see what a full capful looks like. A full capful of these, well, there's a lot sticking to it, but I usually get those off. It's about a half a teaspoon. So that's about how many I want anyway. I'm just going to go ahead and go with that. And then from now on, I'm going to use a full capful. See if I can get some of these back into the container. They always like to stick real bad. Hopefully they're not getting too moisture. Okay, I'll have to move this off just a little. Okay, so let me go ahead and rinse my cap off so I can get everything off of that cap. And then I'll just dry the cap so no moisture from it gets in the rest of the eggs. I don't like having all that stuff stuck to the threading and stuff like that. It's annoying. And then the actual eggs. You just drop them in there. I like to stir them around to get everything off the spoon. And then in a little bit I'll take my finger. I don't know if you guys can see. You guys can't see that. Okay, there we go. Yeah, just stir them around with the spoon a little bit. Make sure you get, make sure you get everything off the spoon. You want all those eggs. Brine shrimp eggs are not really that cheap, honestly. Let's just be honest here. They're pretty expensive. So we'll go ahead and get everything off the sides we can right now. We're going to get back up there, and we'll just come back in a bit and get them off again. All of them off the back side here. Get them down in the water and close that. And then I was saying, I wanted to see how these worked. It looks like I'm not gonna have any sitting on the bottom. Let me check the other side here. Yeah, that looks pretty good. And at least some are gonna get kicked up on the sides no matter what, as you can see. But that'll be okay. Alright, and yeah, that's what I do, and then I wait, they say about 24 to 36 hours, usually I check them. I'm hoping that this light will increase my hatch rates. I haven't put the light on them yet. You get all these off of the vial here, so I don't have them in the freezer all everywhere. Oh, my finger can't get down in there. There we go. And yeah, so I'll dry those off. You see I got about half a container left, and I've gone through, I think this is like my 4th time feeding them, but the first 2 times I fed like a full teaspoon, like what they say for 2 liters, and the second 2 times I fed a little less. Just grab a paper towel here. And I think that is it. I will have to get back to you guys when I decide to feed these. Probably be about 24 to 36 hours. Oh yeah, let's put our light right down on there. They say they like light, so we'll check out how this does, see if it warms up my tank any. That's all you. Alright guys, we're back. We got this set up here. Ready to go. I turned off my air line, and I just got a flashlight down there to brine shrimp going. Got a net ready to go. Also got some first bites and some spirulina in the mail today. Plants germinating. Okay, so let's pull this guy off. yeah, I just like to pull the lid off of mine. So here we go. This is going to be difficult. One second, guys. Let's see if I can get this to where you can see me. Hopefully you guys can at least kind of see me there. So I usually just take this guy over here above the net, and I have my net held in with the handle of my bucket, and just really, really slowly unscrew this valve. If you go too fast, it's just going to come out and explode everywhere. Almost. Okay. Oh gosh, there's so many still in there. So it had a pretty good hatch this time, I guess. Quite a few of these guys are hatched, not very many eggs this time. Usually I don't have enough in here to it matters to get the rest of it, but for some reason this I am rinsing a little bit of cold water. Just rinse those guys out. Alright, we're going to take it to feed now. I got a pretty good chunk of brine shrimp in there, I think. And I don't think I have very many eggs this time. Right here for 1 second. And then when I feed these guys, I just kind of get my net in, and you'll be able to see like some color float out. Just want a little orange to float out of your net. You know you got some out. And then go over to my little tank over here. Float a little orange out in it. That should be enough right there. You see, I got the water a little cloudy with it. That is a good sign. And then got one more tank to feed with these before I take it the rest out to the pond. That should be enough for these guys, I think. Yeah, I think I'm pretty happy with the amount of brine shrimp I got. I can really go cloud the pond up with this. This is probably like half of what I had all together. Something like that. Looks like there's still quite a few down there. And yeah, very few eggs. There's a couple. But I kind of gave all the actual shrimp to my other tanks first. If you saw, I gave that to smaller fish, and then I'm going to give this, which has most of the eggs in it. It looks like kind of stay in the net a little bit. Oh, I got baby kittens out here meowing at me. Hi, it's okay. Hi, bro. This one likes me, apparently. You see this? Yeah, get all those shrimp out. You guys aren't gonna be able to see them, but I definitely clouded the water a little bit with all those. There's quite a few. See if I can see how many white clouds I have in here. Looks like still quite a few white clouds. Most of them looking pretty good. At least most of the adult ones I put in are alive, and the other ones that I had got from Aquahuna seem to be doing okay too. I'd say most of them are alive too. This is I know you guys probably can't tell on video. 1 second. Yeah, this is starting to clear up a little. You can see down to the next layer, and you can see down to the plant pot there, so looking better after a few days. My pond plants will be coming out here soon. I see maybe 12 white clouds out here. I'm supposed to have 18. Still pretty good though. I doubt anything is catching these guys and eating them. They're pretty small. If anything is, they're not getting the biggest meal they've ever had for sure. I think I might actually count some more than that now. A couple more coming out over here, mostly over here. Yeah, so I think I got enough to breed in there. Enough to get me a decent little breed out of them. Come here, little kitten. What's up, bro? You scared? What's wrong? Hey. Hey, little guy. He's a cute little guy. You guys can help me name him from YouTube. Anybody who watches this video wants to comment, tell me what to name the kitty cat. A little black and white kitty cat, or a little bit of gray on him too. He's cute. Friendly too. But alright, YouTube, that is all. I fed my brine shrimp. I pretty much did everything I set out to do on this video. And yeah, look forward to the white clouds breeding.